This insane exploit will change everything in Season 12, and it will impact everything from Hourglass to PvE and everything in between. Before we get started, I'm trying to reach 7,500 subscribers, and if you could help me get there, that would mean a lot to me. And thank you very much for watching. This exploit allows you to get almost any item across to different sessions when you are diving. And as you can imagine, this can be used for a lot of different things. And I'm going to explain all those different things, like I said, from Hourglass to PvE and everything in between. So it's going to be split up into a couple of different sections. But all you have to do in order to do this exploit is, well, you have to first decide what you're going to take with you across sessions. You can technically take up to a few hundred items with you, but this becomes much less complicated if you decide to do it with 20 items or less. And the only thing that I have found so far that you can't take across servers is Skeleton Fort keys. Once you have picked out what you are going to take with you, you must head to a shrine or treasury. And make sure you know which one you're going to, because you will need to come back to it later. So if there's also one that you can get back to easier, go to that one. Once you are at a shrine or treasury, you can swim down with all of your items and put them inside the blue mermaid statues within the shrines. These statues are normally meant to get items back up to your ship, but for now you're going to use them as a little personal vault. See, because of how they're meant to be used, the best part about these is once you put stuff inside, you put items inside these mermaid statues, you store them, they cannot be taken or interacted with in any way by other crews. So once your items are inside, literally there's nothing anybody can do to take them from you unless you take them out. Once everything you'd want to take with you across sessions is in one of these statues, go back to your ship. You will of course see the option when you get back to your ship to collect these items and bring them to the surface, but do not do that yet. You can now continue with your session or adventure, whether that means diving to a raid voyage, doing a regular voyage, diving to a regular voyage, diving to a tall tale, or even diving to something like an hourglass. These items will stay with you across diving, or you can just keep your regular items in there if you want as a little personal vault. But even if you go back to that shrine on different servers, your items will still be there. Once you are ready to collect your items, whether it be on this server or the next one that you have dove to, head back to the same shrine that you put the things in and collect your items. But there are a few stipulations that make this a little more complicated in certain scenarios. The first problem is you must go back to the same shrine that you stored things in. And if you've done multiple shrines because you had more than 20 items, or you could use treasuries, I think, but if you've done multiple and you have more than 20 items, you have to go back to all of them. So maybe pick two that are close together, but you could be taking a little bit of a trip to grab all of your items. The second problem that you might run into, you cannot log out and keep your items. This only works if you're diving across the same play session. So if you're in the same play session, this works. You could dive to, like I said, tall tales, anything like that. But as soon as you leave the game, your stuff is gone. So you can't hold this across different play sessions. The third thing is I'm not sure how quickly this is going to get patched or how fast things are going to come out. And also some of the questions or ideas I'm about to pose, I'm not sure work. They're just ideas that I think might work. So as people like you, if you try this, let me know how it goes. As you guys let me know how stuff goes, I'm going to be updating the description. And like I said, I don't know how quickly this is going to get patched. So if you're currently watching this video, when you get done watching it, check the description as it might have extra tips or it might tell you that this has already been patched. And the fourth thing is part of what I'm hedging this working on is Hourglass, but I'm not 100% sure that it will work with that. But there is a way that I've really thought about using this, and I don't see why it wouldn't work. So this is how you would do it to up your Hourglass and make it much more efficient and safe and make your leveling much more consistent. If this does work with Hourglass, so say you dive and the stuff does stay in the shrine, you should be able to take flags there after you sink ships and whatever other ones you have and keep them there. And hypothetically, if this works, even if you sink, you will have all the flags that you had. Or if you win and you go across servers, there's no chance that somebody comes and drops them off your boat or does something dumb with them. You have the flags, and no matter what, you can sell them. Or even if you're just waiting to get to like Emissary Grade 5, you have the flags that you get from sinking people. So like I said, haven't tested this, and if you guys want more information about it, check the description. But you should have something to sell when you do this, even if you lose your streak, which means that as long as you win like 1 or 2 games in your Hourglass session, you can keep going as hard as you want. You can keep getting your streak as high as you want. And while you will lose your Hourglass rating, you won't lose the flags and you will have something to sell, which will keep your leveling a little bit more consistent than it is if you just lose randomly and lose all your progress. So like I said, if you decide to test this, please let me know how that goes. And if you guys find any other crazy exploits that you can be done with this, because I'm sure there are going to be some, please let me know so I can test it and share it with the community. The next way that I have personally used this is to speed up the process of doing raid voyages, especially if you are doing a bunch of the same kind over and over. And it works extra, like way better, if you are doing this at shrines or treasuries as the raid voyage. If you are doing it as the raid voyage, you can just finish the quest, put the items into the statue, and then instantly dive for another one. If you're doing that at an actual shrine or treasury itself, you will literally just be able to dive, finish it, dive, finish it, dive, finish it. It'll be much more efficient than it normally is, rather than diving and spending as much time as you did doing the shrine going to sell it. But why would you do this? Well, it easily takes as long for certain shrines and treasuries to go sell as it does to actually finish it. So if you're planning on doing a lot of them in a row, chances are you'll be back at the same one multiple times, especially if you're doing this for hours. There's literally no way you wouldn't be. So getting like 4 or 5 on each shrine and then going around and collecting them all at the end would be just much quicker. Plus, if you're starting out brand new, you'll be able to get Emissary Grade 5 before selling any of your stuff, allowing you to stack it each of your raid voyages, which can't be done in any other way. And after you hit Emissary Grade 5, you can sell everything for maximum profit rather than working your way up to it as you finish a few of these. If you are doing this, just make sure that you mark which ones you're doing it at and go back to every single shrine and treasury that you visited. That way you get all of your stuff. Now, you can also just use this to straight up stack any other raid voyage things. So I know there used to be a way to do this with burying items, but this is kind of a replacement for that. So if you say you finish a skeleton fort and you want to stack like 20 of them, I don't know why. Maybe you're waiting for a friend to get on. Maybe you just like it because it's satisfying to sell it. Whatever you want to do with that, you can stack them all in these mermaid statues and sell them all at once. So whatever reason you find to do that, you can do that with this. The last thing I want to talk about before I talk about this exploit's potential is the ways that you can get to certain shrines faster through diving to different quests. If you are trying to keep your stuff in a really easy to access shrine, one that you can sell very quickly when you need to, use the Shrine of Flooded Embrace. This one's right in the middle of the map. It should be easy to get to from almost any quest, and whenever you want to go back to it, all you have to do is dive to the Pendragon Talltale in the Ashen Age Talltale section. This Talltale will bring you straight to Shipwreck Bay, which is just north of the shrine, allowing you to easily dive back to your stuff whenever you need it. And there are a few more examples of places like this that you can do this in. The next one is the Shrines in the Shores of Plenty. Up towards the north of the map, there's a shrine and a treasury, and they're right north of Sanctuary Outpost. So, if you want to get to those, all you have to do when you're done with your session, say you just finished a bunch of stuff, you're ready to go back there and grab your stuff, all you have to do is dive to the Wild Rose Talltale in the Shores of Gold Talltale section, and you will come up at Sanctuary Outpost, which is just south of where you need to be. And the last one is if you are storing things in the bottom left of the map, you can easily get there by diving to the Art of a Trickster Talltale, which will put you in the southwest portion of the map, again, right next to where you need to be. This exploit has a little bit different potential than normal. Normally I outline how much an exploit can help you with earning gold and a reputation, but because this one isn't targeting a specific quest or trading company, or even method, I want to outline how much time each method can save you. If you are doing something like Hourglass or using this to keep things safe while stacking or PvPing or anything like that, then it can literally save you as much time as you put in, because you know that you won't lose any of your stuff to someone rolling up on you. Yes, it might take a little bit of time to go back, but you are guaranteed able to keep your stuff as long as you don't die in transit of getting it from the shrine to the outpost. And if you are doing something like shrines, treasuries, other raid voyages, then you should be able to save about half as much time as you're putting in, because you won't have to take the time to sell after each raid voyage, and you'll only have to take the time to sell after you're finished with all of the raid voyages. And not to mention, this exploit also has insane potential to enable other exploits. So if you guys find any, or you even think of any that you think might work, please let me know in the comments, because I would be more than happy to also test some of those. And just let me know, because it could be the next insane exploit meta, assuming that they don't patch this super quickly. Like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to reach 7,500 subscribers, and if you could help me get there, that would mean a lot to me. If you guys have any other exploits or exploit mechanics, please be sure to let me know in the comments, and thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.